well, ladies and gentlemen, what I have in my hands here is a guitar I like to call White Gold. Some people may recognize this from the Heaven and Hell tour. I bought this guitar off a producer named Michael Beinhorn, who's done a lot of great records. One record in particular was a record called White Light, White Heat, White Trash by Social Distortion. For me, when it came out, I was like 15 years old. It was my introduction to Social D. And that record influenced my songwriting as I was learning how to write songs. I saw that it was available and I didn't get it right away. And it was one of those things, I kind of passed it up. And then a couple months later, I was like, man, I should have got that guitar. I wonder if it's still available. And then sure enough, it was still there. So I made an offer on it, and the guitar didn't have a name when I picked it up. But you know, when I was thinking, okay, this is the White Light, White Heat, White Trash guitar, what would be a suitable name? And I just thought, fuck, White Gold, obviously. By the time I picked this guitar up, the Heaven and Hell record was pretty much finished. But I was lucky enough to be able to record the Dopamine single with this guitar. So when you hear Dopamine, the rhythm sounds of this guitar.
You just did it for the dopamine. You didn't mean to leave me so fucked up. You did it for the dopamine. And could it be that I'm just not enough? It's so hard to accept that you're gone and that's it. You did it for the dopamine. And it didn't mean anything at all.
Dopamine is the only song on Heaven and Hell that I was able to get this guitar onto. But I'm really excited to see what I record with this in the future. Now, the only downside to this guitar is it is one of my heaviest Les Pauls I think I own. So to play this for more than one song a night is just impossible. It's at least impossible for me. But I love all the detail of how this guitar has aged. I love the way the weather checking in the gold paint. I love how this one reflector knob is just, you know, the reflector has fallen off. It's the only one. I mean, it's all original. It has new tuners put onto it just so it stays in tune better. I mean, I can explain a lot about this guitar, but you know what? I might as well let Michael tell you a little bit about this guitar.
I purchased it in 1995 when I was working with Social Distortion. And this one is unique because unlike most gold tops, especially from 68 on, they have circular routing on the inside for the electronics. This one has square routing. Now there's a legend about these guitars. Supposedly, when Les Paul sued Gibson for some kind of copyright infringement issue, they had to stop manufacturing these guitars. What happened was that they had a whole bunch of bodies sitting in the factory that weren't sold. When the lawsuit got settled and Gibson was able to start selling the guitars again, they took the guitars that were hanging there, these ones that had been sitting around for 10 years, gradually mellowing. With the wood settling, they sold them as 68 reissues. And I have been told that this would be one of those early guitars where the bodies had been made in 1957. The tuning pegs are newer and the guitar's been refretted. Other than that, everything else is original.
I mean, this guitar just sounds incredible. It's a really heavy sounding guitar as much as it's a heavy guitar. But, you know, at the time of writing Does This Look Affected, we were coming off of the All Killer tour. And on that tour, I've been listening to that Social D record over and over and over again. It was just kind of like, you know, when you really dive into a record, you just can't stop listening to it. I was like that with White Light, White Heat, White Trash. And when it came time to writing for Does This Look Affected, I knew I wanted to do something a little bit darker, a little bit heavier, a little bit like more minor chords, different than All Killer.
So am I still waiting for this world to stop hating?
And one of the first things I wrote for Does This Look Affected was that riff. And I swear it was in direct sort of inspiration. Even though it doesn't sound like Social Distortion in any kind of way, it was inspired by those kind of minor chords and that chord progression. When it came time to like being able to own this guitar, I mean, it was just such a special kind of full circle moment for me. I think it's a really special one. There's just something about it. No wonder Michael Beinhorn used this on so many great records that he produced.
I don't mind.
glad that it could be in my hands now for its next chapters.